throwing strikes, it's difficult to get spares. Here, Pete Weber cuts right through the heart of the pins, gets a 5 count, and a difficult split. Needs speed and to throw that 4-pin over there.
So in the third frame, open 42 through the third for Pete Weber. Trailing by 18 pins now as Gibson, the leader, is up to shoot on the right lane. To just join us, he won the first game over Jeff Mattingly, 222 to 173. And a short, deep break. Second strike in 3 frames for Gibson.
Paul Gibson has a style that's almost unique to the Pro Bowlers Tour. Watch his right shoulder as he pushes the ball away and the weight hits his shoulder. See how it droops forward, but watch as he comes through. He lines it just before he lets go of the ball. As you can see, he's not playing the outside line. He's playing down the second arrow. That looks like the safest method today.
And with that double, a 28-pin lead for Paul Gibson. Second game, he is bowling against Pete Weber here at the Don Carter Kendall Lanes in Miami. We'll return to Florida, but first this message.
What Delta did for the old-fashioned drippy faucet, Delta now does for the old-fashioned 2-piece toilet. Introducing the Bowl Beautiful from Delta. Delta's sleek one-piece design is made with a space-age azulite process. It looks like China, but better because it doesn't chip like China. And it's surprisingly affordable. What Delta did for the old-fashioned drippy faucet, Delta now does for the old-fashioned 2-piece toilet. The Delta Bowl Beautiful.
Some important news about overnight packages.
Nobody likes a late package, so we recommend United Air Express. Yeah! That's United Airlines' new overnight package service.
United Airlines!
They have all those United jets.
Big jets.
Flying all over.
They have a new fleet of trucks.
Lots of them.
Driving all over.
And they have a really nifty jingle. Fly the friendly skies.
Door to door, overnight. Packages prefer United Air Express.
You guys look great in stripes.
Really?
Tomorrow on ABC Sports Beat, Howard Cosell talks with Georgia sophomore Herschel Walker, who's already proven he's one of the best ever to play the game. But the NFL says he can't play in their game just yet. Will Walker challenge the NFL in court and try to turn pro? One of the hard-hitting stories tomorrow on ABC Sports Beat.
Capacity crowd, Don Carter, Kendall Lanes. Big crowd will be at nearby Hialeah for the 53rd running of the Flamingo Stakes, and a live telecast will be blacked out in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. 3-year-olds, first step toward the Kentucky Derby. Pete Weber needs to strike. Open frame in the third. This is the fourth. That's it. Nelson Burton with another Hall of Famer, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. With me is a man they say is the greatest bowler of all time. And Don, what is the biggest difference between the kids we see out there on the tour today and the era of yours, the 50s and 60s?
Well, as you know, Bo, when we bowled, we threw the ball more or less down and in. Today, it's how far they can crank the ball, and the thin hit is really the premium. They throw the ball as far to the right and turn it as hard as they can, where it was more a premium of an accuracy on hitting the pocket solid.
What allows them to belly the ball so much, Don?
I think the finish is so much different today. In your lacquer, you had a track where you had to stay in the track. Today, the urethane finish, you're allowed to go all the way out and bring it back, and they sure do it today.
Back to you, Chris. The man tells it like it is.
All right, he did look away to see that Pete Weber, son of Dick Weber, whom Don had bowled many times, coming up with that double, cutting the lead to 18. But Gibson is up, double working, shooting in the 5th frame. Back out to 28-pin lead. This is our second game, our 9th week of the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. Winner of this will meet a newcomer to our telecast, 6'2" Storm DeVincent, a cranker. he has strung 4 for a 38-pin lead. And his opponent, Pete Weber, 5'7", 135 pounds, has a double up, shooting in the 6th frame.
Both players using the new urethane bowling balls, which break a little bit more than almost any ball manufactured today, and that's what the players like. The big hook, the strong finish on the pins.
Oh, 7-10.
Sometimes you pay a penalty for that big power. He actually just cut the center of that rack right out. The 5-pin going right behind the 7-pin, leaving a 7-10 split. Really a bad break at a crucial time for Pete Weber.
Open second for Pete Weber. This one coming in the 6th frame. Pete Weber, who has earned more than the other 4 in the field of 5, 26,480 already this year. He's had a tremendous 1982. Runner-up to Jim Miller in the Showboat Invitational 2 weeks ago at Ray Becker's Landmark Lanes. Finished 3rd. And a 10-pin on the left lane. Earlier we asked 19-year-old Pete Weber why the Crankers have done so well this week here in Miami.
The Crankers have done well for the last 4 or 5 years because most of the houses in the United States now are going to the urethane finish, which allows us to throw the ball harder and crank it up and make it come back.
All right, Pete Weber taking a break. The leader is Paul Gibson by 52 pins after winning the first game over Jeff Mattingly, 222 to 173. Let's take a break, then come back to the Greater Miami Sunshine Open.
Don't throw your money away on cheap trash bags. Instead, get True Value Hardware Store's Bargain of the Month. 15 extra strength True Value bags in 33-gallon size, plus 12 free kitchen can bags in 44-quart size, all for just $2.99 while supplies last. And get their perfect companions, this Lustroware flip-top wastebasket for just $4.99, and this rugged True Value 32-gallon trash can, now just $12.88, at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
Head and Shoulders doesn't have it. Selsun Blue doesn't have it. Only Denorex has it. An extra relief medicine to stop dandruff itch. You can feel it tingle.
All 3 have one medicine for dandruff itch, but only Denorex adds a second medicine, an exclusive anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
You can feel it tingle. That's extra relief medicine, and only Denorex has it.
In regular or New Mountain Fresh Herbal, Denorex stops dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine.
On the left, that is Storm DeVenson. On the right, the tournament leader, Bob Hanley. Storm will meet the winner of our second game, which is underway, and the lead is being held by Paul Gibson of O'Fallon, Illinois. He has a 4-bagger working, shooting in the 7th frame. High hit, leaving the 3-6. Let's watch that release again, Bo.
Gibson with not quite as much turn as the other 4 players in the championship round, but watch his hand as it rotates around the ball. It comes inside out, see from behind his back, thumb down, about the 10 o'clock position, see the fingers go around, and the wrist up through the ball as he releases it. That's how you get the maximum power.
Spare in the 7th. Paul Gibson, and there you see the story of 50-pin lead by Gibson. Be interesting the next match to see Storm DeVenson out of the chute.
Your man that you picked, Paul Gibson, Chris, is getting stronger as the match goes on, and he's playing the lanes a little smarter than the other players we've seen so far. He's playing inside the track area and not depending on the big hook, keeping it in play and not beating himself.
Paul Gibson, only his 3rd year as a PBA member. And for Pete Weber, this is his 3rd year as well, and both are trying to get their first PBA title. Pete Weber wearing a RF microphone.
The big hook out of control. See, he lays it down about the 12th board, out to about the 7th. He wants to get it out to about 3. Right through the heart of the pins, leaves the very unusual 3, 6, 7, and 4.
And that brought Dick Weber and Juanita right out of their chairs in a hotel in Indianapolis. Oh, that brought a look at the blue eyes, twinkling blue eyes.
Chris, last year here, Marshall Holman made this very same split, and a losing cause to Bo Bowden. The 3, 4, 6, 7, unusual, but made twice in Miami.
All right. And the adrenaline pumping now as Pete Weber, foundation 9th frame strike, but it's Gibson in a commanding lead, and he's up. 9th frame, working on a strike.
History has shown that the man who plays inside in a championship round at Don Carter Lanes has been the winner. Fahlgren did it 2 years ago. Bo Bowden did it last year. Gibson's doing it so far this year.
A 10 on the right lane. Paul Gibson, who averaged 210 during play here on this championship pair. And of course, coming up following this game will be the Rolaids Tip of the Week, a look back at the tour's first 8 weeks. So, Paul Gibson rolling right along here. His first opportunity for a championship victory. We'll take a break and then return.
When an engine needs a rebuild, I bring it to Joe.
That's me.
And you know what he's rebuilding a lot more of these days?
4-cylinder engines.
Small engines work a lot harder than big engines, so if you have a small car, it's even more important to take care of it right. Change the oil regularly. And put in a new Fram oil filter when you're supposed to. A Fram filter doesn't cost much.
I do.
But the choice is yours. You can pay me now.
Or pay me later.
Whoa, little fella, where do you think you're going? We're gonna get you back to your mama.
There you go.
We got them all. That means it's Miller time. Come on, I'm buying.
Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, Miller's got the beer.
You know people like us, we're teachers. Firemen, people just like you. These are the uniforms we wear at work.
But these are the uniforms we wear when we serve part-time in the reserves and the National Guard.
You see, in the reserves and the Guard, you not only serve your country,
you're part of a first-rate team.
Training alongside real buddies.
Yet while you serve, you can live at home.
And keep your full-time job.
Because in the reserves and the Guard, you don't have to give up one life to live another.
The reserves and the National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter.
ABC Sports presents another sensational Sunday. First, setting the pace in sports journalism, ABC Sports Beat with Howard Cosell. Then, the Dodgers battle the Oakland A's in the first round of the Super Teams. On the USA versus the World in Olympic sports, America wrestles Bulgaria. And live on ABC's Wide World of Sports, marvelous Marvin Hagler, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, defends his crown against the hard-punching caveman Lee. Suddenly, Sundays are sensational, like tomorrow on ABC.
All right, there you see the final score of our second game. Gibson winning his second in a row over Pete Weber, 215 to 193. So perhaps we'll have another new face in the victory circle here this afternoon in bowling. We're going to take a look at the first 8 weeks of our 20th anniversary year here on the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. Some new faces, some interesting action. Here it is.
The Professional Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Rolaids.
It was fitting that the 20th anniversary of the Professional Bowlers Tour would boast a record $2 million in prize monies on the winter tour. The season opened January 9th in Anaheim, California, as Guppy Troop won his third career title in the Miller High Life Open. In week number 2, rookie Jim Miller won the $27,000 top prize in the Showboat Invitational when he defeated Pete Weber. The following week, the tour traveled to the San Francisco Bay Area where Earl Anthony won his 37th career title. The Quaker State Open occupied week number 4, and Art Trask of Fresno, California won the $20,000 top prize. The first jewel of bowling's Triple Crown followed in Houston at the United States Open, where Dave Houston ran away with the title. In week number 6, the trend of first-time winners continued when Bill Straub took the Rolaids Open in St. Louis. Peoria, Illinois was next, and Art Trask became the tour's first 2-time winner by capturing the True Value Open. Last week in Toledo, Ohio was a historic one when Earl Anthony captured the PBA National Championship, and in doing so became the first man in bowling history to pass $1 million in career earnings. And so thus far this year, at the midway point of the tour, we've had 6 different winners in 8 weeks, 4 of whom have been first-time champions.
We asked Roger Staubach to find out how people spell relief.
How do you spell relief?
For acid indigestion, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For heartburn, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids really does spell relief.
Like a sponge, Rolaids antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief.
How do you spell relief?
I spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For millions of Americans, Rolaids spells 100% relief.
And now the third game, the semifinal game of the Professional Bowlers Tour. On the right, the man that's won 2 games, Paul Gibson. 222 to 173 over Jeff Mattingly, 8 strikes. Now against Pete Weber, 215 to 193 with 6 strikes. Starting on the left lane, his opponent, 26-year-old late blooming Storm DeVincent of Tamarack, Florida. Ten-pin.
Paul Gibson, the first bad break he's had in either match so far. He was ahead in both matches as his opponents got open frames while he was sitting on the bench. Let's see how he does against Storm DeVincent in this semifinal match. He seems unfazed by the pressure, Chris.
A couple of young bachelors here in our third game. All right, Gibson marking with a spare in the first. And now it's 6'2", 180 pounds, Storm DeVincent, a real local favorite. Second year as a PBA member. It's only his 14th tournament of his career, his first career championship round appearance. Born and raised in Massachusetts. Been in South Florida now for 5 years. What lovely speed on that
stroke. Storm DeVincent, he looks so poised, Chris, for a player that's never been in this situation before. He was sensational as they came down the last 8 games last night in the championship matches. In fact, he lost a match 273 to 277, never even seemed to faze him. It was a very interesting game.
Well, you get a shot of his girlfriend. You think he's smooth. And a double. Boy, that's accepting the pressure. First time on national television. There she is. Luann Lucas, Storm's fiance.
What a way to start. Boy, he came out and played. Look at those eyes.
Just like some of those thoroughbreds when they're giving it their all and racing, like in the Flamingo Stakes later today on ABC. Leaving the 2-pin on the right lane, Paul Gibson. Now the winner of this game will go against the tournament leader, another cranker from Fairway, Kansas, Bob Handley. Two spares for Gibson of O'Fallon, Illinois. Second round leader, Gibson, and here you see that present tournament leader, Handley, led in 4 rounds with DeVincent, who is bowling Gibson now, the second round leader, leading through the 5th round.
42 games this week. 160 players went to the starting gate. First strike in 3 frames for Gibson.
Double up now, Storm DeVincent. He was named Storm because he was born during a hurricane in Massachusetts.
That's his real name?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Little action. Let's look at 2 replays of Storm DeVincent.
The 2 pin to the sideboard, trips out to 4, making a turkey. What a great break. And Storm DeVincent so smooth as he strolls to the foul line, pushes the ball away late, locks that arm swing. Good extension, good deep bend. And without that extension, you can't make that ball set up in the pocket and trip that 4 like he just did.
And it's a high hit, the 4-6 left on that left lane.
Just a small margin of error when you play that much hook. He was outside on about the 5th board, but didn't keep the speed up. Cuts right through the heart of the pins. 4-6 split. Opens the door again for Paul Gibson.
Three in a row in an open frame, 86 through the 3rd. Still leading by 7 pins, Storm DeVincent. Going to take a break here in the semifinal game. For this message, we're in Miami.
Working late again, Mr. Peabody?
Afraid so, Rose.
You, the genius who designed the Firestone 721 tire.
That's my problem. They want me to top it.
Top it? But isn't the 721 what they call a winner?
Oh, sure. It's got 7 around 2 wrapped by 1. There's 24 million on the road, you know.
And you're gonna top that, Mr. P?
Well,
The Firestone 721. It's one tough tire to top.
GMC brings you the GMC Cash Bonus Plan. You can get a $500 cash bonus on a new GMC S15 pickup. Get a $750 cash bonus on new GMC full-size pickups, GMC vans, Jimmys, Suburbans, or any other light-duty GMCs. See your participating GMC truck dealer. He can put a new GMC truck in your hands and money in your pocket. The GMC Cash Bonus Plan. It's the break you've been waiting for.
BBA's Director of Public Relations. That's right, he's our newest grandfather. His daughter Lisa in Akron gave birth to a lovely, bouncing, big boy.
What a super guy. Bud Fisher. Now Paul Gibson trailing by 7. If he can strike in the 4th and make a double, he'll take the lead.
He won the first 2 games, won over Mattingly, and then defeated Pete Weber. Accepting the challenge here in the 3rd game as we replay the shot.
So steady, muscular game of Paul Gibson, playing the track area, not the big hook. See that ball set up right in the pocket. The other players we've seen play the outside line are breaking through at the back end, can't get away from the splits, and Gibson's taking advantage.
Young man that lived part of his life in Madrid, Spain, Washington, D.C., Fort Lauderdale, Travis Air Force Base.
When you're the son of a colonel in the Army, you can go anywhere.
And his mom was a captain in the service.
Let's see how Storm DeVincent rebounds from that open frame in the 4th. From nearby Boca Raton, where Don Carter has another bowling center, he works part-time for our statistician, Palmer Fulgren.
Breaking deep, that shot. We asked Storm what effect or what influence has the hometown audience had on his bowling.
The hometown crowd has got to be the greatest advantage a bowler can have out here. With all this positive thinking, and it's all seems to be coming my way, it really helps me on the lanes.
It's true. It's nothing like a little applause. It's like saying sick 'em to a dog, you know. Fires you up.
Well, he needs one right here. Trails by 13, can cut the lead to 3.
He'll take it from any side.
Storm to Vincent, doesn't give it enough room, crosses over, just wishes him over on that strike. Got a Brooklyn. It's back in the match.
All right, now Gibson. A 3-bagger, shooting in the 6th frame, the semifinal game. 1 to go against the tournament leader, Bob Handley. Now leaving the 2-8.
The first difficult spare that Paul Gibson's had to make under pressure. He needs this to maintain his lead.
2-1 for the professionals to make this double wood spare. You can see the tension on the face, not necessarily of Vincent, but of the shooter, Gibson. Oh, he covered those two, Nelson.
Sure did, Chris. Made an excellent shot, especially with the ball breaking that sharply at the back end. And watch these two players, Storm to Vincent and Paul Gibson, both have one thing in common with the great Don Carter. They both tuck their pinky or their little finger on their right hand. That's to get a tighter grip on the bowling ball. Watch them as they put it in there. De Vincent using the fingertip grip and Gibson the fingertip.
Oh, and with that 213 best average for him this week. Now, one to shoot at where the odds are high. And look at that expression.
Chris, he cuts through, gets 5, and there's 2 schools of thought. Shoot for the 4-7, slide it over to the 6-9-10. But with today's light pins and shallow bouncy channels, it's easier to bounce the 4-pin out off the 6. Watch this.
Gibson with that open frame in the 7th, 140 through there, and De Vincent now leads by 16. As a double up, he'll be shooting in the 7th when we return to the Greater Miami Sunshine Open.
Hey champ, got a heavy beard? Get ready for a knockout of a shave. Introducing the Heavyweight, new Noxzema.
You get heavy cream, heavy moisturizers, a new protected formula, close, comfortable shaves.
For the roughest beard, take on the Heavyweight, new Noxzema, and your face comes out the winner.
For special offers on American-made tools, come to your participating hardware or home center store's great All-American Workshop sale. Save now on 10-inch vice grip straight jaw pliers and 7-inch vice grip pliers with wire cutter. Buy this Hobby Crafter Work Center and Vice by Black & Decker and get a 14-piece X-Acto knife set free. For all those jobs around the house, the Burns-O-Matic Oxygen Tote Torch. Now with free safety goggles from Burns-O-Matic. They're just some of the specials now at your hardware home center store during the great All-American Workshop sale.
More perfect scores of 10 that have ever been scored in one gymnastics competition. Plus, Kentucky Derby hopefuls live in the Flamingo Stakes. ABC's Wide World of Sports is next.
He said earlier he's going to get out. We're back again. Don Carter, Kendall Lane. Storm to Vincent from nearby Tamarack, Florida. Well, he led by 21 in a couple of frames, trailed by 13. Now is leading by 16, a double up shooting in the 7th frame.
Let's see if he can take advantage of that crossover in this 6th frame. It was such a pivotal shot. Instead of getting an open, he got a double and took the lead.
like the reaction of the crowd. The 10-pin on a delay drop.
What a shot. The ball's right out of the channel. 3-pound, 4-ounce pins. The head pin goes to the sideboard. Look at the pins left up there. The 4, 7, 10. Drives the head pin into the 4 into the 10 with a trailer. What a break.
Took